Hi, I'm Ken Jr. and welcome to TrainWorld TV. Here you'll find the latest and greatest in model trains. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. And if you're new to our channel, we're glad you're here, and I invite you to click the subscribe button and hit that bell notification so you'll never miss a video. Now, we'd also love to send you exclusive deals and special announcements that you won't find anywhere else. So be sure to sign up for our emails, TW text, and stay connected with us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. Now, you can find all the links in the description box below or trainworld.com. And without further ado, enjoy today's video. Hello and good evening, everybody, and welcome to TrainWorld TV. The crew is back together. Rich, Andy, Ken Sr., Ken Jr. So we're excited to be on tonight and talk a little bit about trains and the pre-York ritual. So we're excited to be here tonight. And put in the chat where you're from. We'd like to know. Usually we get people all over the world and country, so we're excited to see who's joining us. And Kevin says, good evening. Good evening. How you doing? We got Jack, the usual local Jack. How you doing? So everybody out. We got the UP collector, Charlotte. So tons of people out tonight. We appreciate everyone for joining. And special show, it's the MTH Trains live stream tonight, and we have tons of new items, announcements, new products to go over, and a lot of updates from MTH, Andy and Rich themselves, and Andy from Prime Mover Communications. And Ken Sr., you want to chime in on the intro?
Yeah, I got to tell you, thanks everyone for tuning in. And I got to tell you, we had a great Christmas. Thanks to everyone out there. Trains are very strong. People are buying like crazy. The pre-orders are coming in fast, and it's usually York to York is like the gauge of train season. So now it's going to start winding down right after York. But just make sure you get your pre-orders in, and so you don't get shut out or pay more, one or the other. But it's the MTH and Andy have been making some great custom stuff for us, and it's I think that stuff flies off the shelf faster than anything. It's just something different, and very, very small quantities are made, so you get lucky when you get one, that kind of a thing. And Kenny and Andy's going to show some new products that we've been coming out with. But I really want to thank everyone for giving us a tremendous year and keeping the trains alive. It's still great. Thank you.
Well said. And the two guests of honor tonight, the men who need no introductions, but we'll introduce them as well. Rich Foster from MTH Trains and Andy Edleman of Prime Mover Communications. How you both doing tonight, gentlemen?
Doing great, Kenny. Thanks for having us on, and thanks again to all the customers who've been supporting us. It's been a pretty good ride this last couple of years.
Yep, it's good to be here again, Kenny. Both you guys do a great job for the hobby, and we certainly appreciate the opportunity to come on here and talk a little bit about what MTH has been doing and where we're at and where things are going. I think there's a lot of questions out there still, and it's confusing, so we get it, and that's a good opportunity to help explain some of that.
Perfect. So, Rich or Andy, who wants to kick it off?
Well, looking forward to seeing a lot of you folks at York coming up, and we just wanted to go over some of the product that we have coming in here in the next few weeks. A lot of diesels and rolling stock to talk about, and we will also like to talk about a lot of the custom runs that TrainWorld's offering as well. If anybody doesn't know, please go to mthtrains.com, sign up for our e-newsletter. You'll get a weekly announcement, typically every Wednesday. And there's also daily newsletters, so you can find out a lot about any of the custom runs that are being offered out there from TrainWorld or any other dealers as well. So please sign up for that, and then click on the news tab on our homepage to see anything we've offered, in recent weeks.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that we keep announcing, and as Rich said, every Wednesday there's new product announcements from MTH that are sold to all of the dealers that carry the MTH brand. And then usually the other days of the week, at least Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday and Friday, we'll do a particular dealer's custom run. TrainWorld is usually fairly frequent. They're pretty aggressive with some of the stuff that they've been asking for, and we'll touch on a little bit of that today as well. But yeah, so when you sign up for the newsletter, you're going to get a lot of information from MTH. If you don't want to sign up, shame on you. That's okay, though. You can just go to the site every now and then, check it out. The news tab is where all of the announcements are. The splash page on the homepage there will show different announcements from the last 5 weeks. But you can always see all of the announcements under the news tab, and that's the best way to stay abreast of what's going on with MTH and all of these custom run projects. If you go back 3-4 years ago, MTH did about 1,200 different O-gauge items every year, and we're about 800 or so now. So still a lot of stuff being made.
Yeah.
There's a lot of custom stuff now, as opposed to the 500 or 600 items you'd see in every MTH catalog twice a year. So that's the big difference in the business model.
You're actually making more stuff.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, we can't stop.
Wow.
I used to obviously work with MTH as a direct employee. I was vice president of marketing for several decades, 32 years in total. And during the MTH's reorganization, my team and myself all became independent contractors, if you will. I have a company called Prime Mover Communications. I help out other companies, including Atlas Model Railroad Company, because they bought a lot of the MTH tools. And my team does that work as well. So we're kind of working with both companies. It's an interesting dynamic.
Oh, Andy, your mic clicked off. Good. Yep. But Rich, I'm not sure if you want to chime in until Andy reaches over. But Andy has been doing a great job working with both MTH and Atlas, getting all their productions and graphics, all designs kind of up and going. And Andy does a great job with the dealers, kind of working with everyone.
Absolutely. He and his team do a great job. Some of the stuff's also important because there's complementary product that could be offered. If we offer a certain locomotive, Atlas may offer a set of matching passenger cars. So you want to make sure all the colors are correct and match. So it's good to have that continuity there between the two companies in terms of, them complementing our product and vice versa.
Without a doubt. And Rich, we're getting a lot of questions about, is MTH out of business? So can you clarify that?
No, they're not. They're not. Well, I get the bills every week. They're not out of business.
Obviously, things didn't it wasn't that clear, and it was during all the COVID mess that all this went down to begin with. So Mike had planned to sell the company and all the tools, and then let whoever picked it up go whichever direction they're going to go. It didn't really work out that way because we had a tremendous amount of tooling. Obviously, we had probably as much O-gauge tooling as everybody else in the business combined. So some of the tools were purchased by Atlas and some by Lionel, but we still kept the lion's share of the tooling and convinced Mike to let us keep rolling with it. And it's a bit of a different business model. Like we were saying, the e-newsletter is vital for the announcements. And we are in a much smaller location for those that are tuning in for the first time. So we don't have room for much of any inventory. So if you see an announcement that interests you, please get an order in with your favorite dealer, because we just don't have room to stock extras. We're forced to be a built-to-order company on almost all the products we're offering. So if you do see something you like, get it on order, and we'll make sure you get it.
Yeah, and just to chime in on that, Rich and I kind of speak maybe once a week, every so often. It used to be more, but he forgot about me so much. But but when we do speak, we go over a bunch of items. And Rich, all the items that I ask about, you may have like one or two extra. It's not a ton extra. So if you're interested in MTH items that they announce, you know, there's not much extra. So I'm grabbing whatever we can. And we did an order today, and everything I asked Rich about, it's like sold out, sold to the number, or he may have a couple of extra pieces, but it's nothing like it used to be where they're making huge extra quantities. So if you see a pre-order and you're interested in an item, you're going to have to pre-order it right away.
Yeah, Kenny, doesn't Rich say, well, one of their bigger dealers grabbed it?
Yeah.
I usually say better dealers.
Yeah. Rich doesn't have as much time for me anymore, so we are limited on the phone calls, but the numbers keep on dwindling down. So make sure you get those pre-orders in. But we love Rich. He's a great guy, and we work together well.
We still love you guys too.
And guys, when you buy your trains, don't wait to test it a month, 2, 3, 4 months from now. You got to test your stuff as soon as you get it. If you're an operator, make sure everything's functioning 100%, so we could get it going, get it replaced or whatever. It just isn't that much available anymore. It just isn't.
No,
that's right.
All right,
Andy,
can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
We got Andy back.
A professional would have checked the batteries in the microphone before they went on there.
Well, we got a couple of comments saying that if it was the old MTH, they'd still blame you anyway.
I know. Yeah, they would. They would. All right, so you guys probably we should jump into what the schedule would be today, which we're going to talk a little bit about DCS. I know there's a lot of questions about when the WTIU is coming. Then we'll go over some of the upcoming arrivals. MTH has 2 containers or 3 containers coming in April, or maybe one already arrived. I don't know, Rich.
Mm-hmm. No, next, right after York, we should be getting 2.
Yeah. So tomorrow's newsletter will have, or Wednesday's newsletter will have what's on that shipment in part of the newsletter. And then we'll talk about some of the recent announcements from MTH, and then we'll jump on to the TrainWorld announcements. Mm-hmm. But, you know, a lot of people obviously want to know where DCS is and what's going on with that. And primarily, the WTIU is what everybody's looking for. And we're not the only company that's had this same problem getting these things made. As many people know, locomotives have been shipping slower than what people would like. And that's because of the shortage of components. And it's touched on the WTIU. It's touched on Lionel's product as well. So we're not the only ones out there struggling to get these things out. But we are going into production in June. And the beta testing is underway now. I don't know if we have any beta testers that are testing the new app. But I've seen several notices with the Apple app version that have come out over the last few months. So we're working on that. And we're looking to have delivery of the WTIU at this point now, late third quarter, fourth quarter of 2023. So that will be this fall, hopefully by York in October. We'll have units on the market. We'll know more as we get into June and the production's actually going on. And we apologize for that. A couple of new things about it, though, that we'll talk about today. First off, as everybody knows, the WTIU stands for Wi-Fi TIU, which means that we've replaced the 900 megahertz radio in the TIU with a Wi-Fi radio or transmitter, and you will communicate with that WTIU with your app on either an Android or an iPhone, an iOS device, tablet or phone, doesn't matter. Same with Android, either way. In addition, you can plug in your remote control to the WTIU and run trains that way. However, you cannot run trains with the old remote talking to the WTIU in a wireless method because there is no more 900 megahertz radio in there. And so really you're kind of looking at the transition away from remotes in a wireless format this point on. And it's really kind of the nature of technology as it develops and improves. And frankly, if you haven't used the app yet, I would try it. It doesn't cost anything to get the free version. And it runs and works the TIU so much faster and runs the train so much easier than the old remote did that I think you'll find it to be an amazing way to run trains.
And Andy and Rich, I saw a couple of questions, people asking about the app itself. Any upcoming updates or anything like that on the app, or it's kind of been status quo for now?
Oh, no, the app, when the WTIU is released, the new version of the app will be released as well.
Oh, wow.
It's considerably different than, the way it used to be in terms of functionality and features. Don't know if it'll look a lot different, but it's definitely got more functionality going through there. For example, you can use your phone to send audio through the train. Used to be you'd plug in, an iPod or microphone or whatever into the TIU, and your train could broadcast whatever you were saying through the mic or whatever music you were playing through the iPod. And you'll now be able to do that wirelessly with the phone. So you can pick up your Sirius satellite stream or, Alexa or any of those other things and fire up music and play it through the phone, all wirelessly. So that's one of the things that's different. Another big thing is all of setup now for the WTIU will be done remotely through your phone or your tablet. You used to have to go through a web browser to set it all up, and you don't have to do that anymore. You'll also be able to upgrade as we release new firmware for the hardware for TIUs, for the DCS Explorer, any of those devices. You'll be able to update the firmware remotely using your phone and this WTIU. You will no longer have to use the consumer loader program, which is a Windows-based program that we distribute for free on the MTH website. You'll no longer have to use that. So that's a very, very big feature because it makes it so much easier. You used to have to swap cables, and it was cumbersome.
Yes.
But we were dealing with, and I think it's important for people to understand this, we were dealing with technology that goes back to the year 2000, really the late 90s when we first started developing DCS. And this marks the 20th year. Last year marked the 20th year, actually, 2022, of the hardware actually being available to purchase. So we're at 21 years, and you can still run that old hardware, yet control it with a new phone that you just bought this year. And that's unheard of from a technology standpoint. So we haven't left behind the hardware, and now we're making it actually easier to update it with this new app and the WTIU. So that's a big deal. The other big thing is, and again, you had to use the DCS consumer loader, is the fact that you had to update the sounds in your engines if you want a new sound file with the consumer loader, and you will no longer have to do that, which will make changing the sounds in an engine so much easier.
That's very big.
So that's going to be a pretty cool thing. So those are the big deals with the DCS WTIU. We know it's been a long time. For people who've been paying attention to the shipping schedule, there has been some DCS hardware that's come in. I think we pushed out the last of the remotes. We pushed out another run of AIUs earlier this year, I think, Rich. Or maybe they're about to come in. I can't remember.
No, we did get in AIUs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So, you know, things are happening, but this is the bigger thing. And again, as I said, our friends at Lionel are having the same trouble with their Cab 3, and I think that'll be out later this year as well. Probably both come out and both be touring around the country, debuting this thing. Who knows how it'll go? It should be interesting, but it's a long time coming, but it's going to be well worth it.
Okay.
Yeah. And a lot of people have a lot of questions, so we're not going to be able to get to all of them. But when it, I guess, comes closer to delivery, will you be sending an update about what will work with older versions or compatibility stuff, more information like that, and also app information about, I guess, any charges, stuff like that?
Yeah, you're going to see actual news stories. They'll be published in the website, on the website and in the newsletter as these details are forthcoming. And cool. We're starting to work on that now. It'll be a little bit longer before we get that stuff out. But I would like to start targeting new information about the specifics of some of the stuff I touched on today. How do you do it, and so forth, as we get closer to release. So probably after production starts sometime in the summer, and build up to the actual release of the hardware in the fall, so that people know everything and are prepared for it. And of course, they'll be able to go to the MTH site, click on the DCS link, and pull out the same information back up as it comes out. But it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of work, but we're looking forward to that part of it. Sure.
Yeah. And on this item, we have so many pre-orders in our system already. So many people want to upgrade and get this unit. So if you're on the fence about it, definitely get your pre-order in. Rich Foster likes to confirm with me every single time I order, are you sure? Are you sure? Because he can't believe the numbers. It's just so high. Everybody's getting these units. So,
you know, Kenny, a few questions that have rolled by here, comments that I'm sorry I can't keep up with all of them, but people are asking Andy about the WIUs and the Explorers coming out, and they will be out well in front of the WTIU. So there is a fair amount of frustration for customers who actually got back into the hobby during the whole COVID time frame because they were stuck in their basement or for whatever reason. But the at least if the Explorers get here in short order, you have an opportunity to at least run some trains, and with, you know, in DCS mode using the app, and until the new WTIU gets out. It is a nice little piece. It's reasonably priced, and you can run up to 3 trains, and you don't get full functionality, but you get the stuff that matters most to people: couplers, passenger freight announcements, speed, digital 1 mile an hour speed control, that type of thing. So those are coming fairly soon. And hopefully we did get into DCS Remote Commander, which is for this audience is probably a bit, you know, not up to their standards. It can only run 1 train, and it's got limited functionality, but those are in inventory right now. Matter of fact, Ken Jr. ordered some from me today. But so keep an eye out for those other pieces coming in here. Andy will be making announcements on those as well.
Awesome.
All righty. So if anybody has any questions as the stream goes on, throw them out there. We'll try to touch base as we get toward the end. But right now, why don't we jump into what some of the new product is that's coming in. And Rich, I'm just going to throw these things up, and you can chat with your immense knowledge of your own product line, what these things are. First and foremost, the Premier Vo1000 Diesel. available in, well, you've got the list there, Rich.
Yeah, there's 4 real nice liveries there. They're right around the corner. They'll be in toward the end of next week. Pennsylvania, Canton Railroad, Great Northern, and Reading. These are great premier diesel, small engine that can run on tight curves. So they will be out very soon.
That paint
These are
scheme in
scale
the Reading lines
locomotives.
is
They're,
nice.
they're available in 3-rail, not in 2-rail, but they have all the standard features that MTH locomotives have, ProSound 3 and digital freight sounds and so forth. So great little products. Next up,
the SD24s, they've been a little behind schedule, but they're right around the corner as well. And of course, we've got Burlington, Lackawanna, Southern, Santa Fe, and Union Pacific. And it's a real nice special duty engine. And, lots of railroads had them, but these are some good road names here for those.
Yep. And each of these locomotives, including the Vo1000s, any premier diesel is available in multiple cab numbers, 2 cab numbers. So if you do a search on the MTH website, select the 2023 all scales catalog and filter down by premier and diesel, you'll see the different SKUs, different item numbers that are relative to the different cab numbers. So that's how you'll know that there's more than one. Steam engines, typically just one, but diesels, we like to do 2 cab numbers for each paint scheme. Unless it wasn't prototypical and we didn't feel like making up something, you're always going to see at least 2 cab numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice.
And all the premier diesels have exhaust smoke. Can't say that yet for the Rail King diesels, but all the premier do.
Okay.
So also coming in, well, I shouldn't say, we did get some gen sets in March. So, but we did not get any of the Union Pacific, but we got in Norfolk Southern, the U.S. Army, and the Canadian Pacific. So next week is the Union Pacific will be in, and that's a great, more modern switching diesel.
Yep.
So,
Impressive. Very impressive.
One of the other things about these releases, and Rich, you'll have to chime in if I'm incorrect on the gen sets, but certainly on the Vo1000s and the SD24s, we're not showing them, but there are custom run versions as well. We're only going to show TrainWorld custom runs today since they're hosting us, but you'll see that in the list of products that have arrived, or and again, we're publishing a list tomorrow or Wednesday that shows that. So if you've got one that's on order from TrainWorld or somebody else and you didn't see it pop up here, it's probably coming in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Andy, on the custom products on the MTH website, when you look at like the all the custom products made, and the newest ones, are the newest ones at the end of the list or the newest ones at the beginning of the list?
Typically, they're going to be at the. I typically sort that list by item numbers, so that. And Rich typically puts the item numbers for the custom runs in the same series as whatever the other product is. So if it's a Vo1000, the custom run item numbers would follow. But the other thing is you can just go to the news story. And when you go to the news story and you click on whatever the item is. So let's just jump over to the website. And if I go to news, and it'll pull up a list of all the news stories. I'm going to scroll down to one that I know has some custom run things in it. And you'll see here, I picked one that doesn't. Hold on, patience. I already had a bad battery. Okay. So here is O-scale flats with 48-foot trailers. And you'll see here, custom run flat car with 48-foot trailer offerings. And there's a link. And when you click on that link, it'll pull up all of the custom runs. And look at this, little surprises, because not all of these have been promoted yet. If there's no picture, it hasn't been promoted. But those are all flats with trailers that are custom runs for various dealers. So that's how you do that. And those links are present for each of the product announcements that we do, not always right when we announce it, but usually within a couple of weeks as we start to promote some of the custom run items. So that's how you'll find that. That's the easiest way to check that out.
But and that's not just newest ones. That's stuff that was made a while ago also.
No, that's only for that given production run.
Okay.
So it doesn't include. So we've done flats with 48-foot trailers, many times over the years, and done some custom run things. They wouldn't be in this list.
Okay.
This is the 2023 list, and it's only going to have the 2023 things.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Hopefully that makes sense. Let's see here, Rich. Next up, I believe, Rich, is
the Union Pacific Auxiliary water tenders to
Yes.
go with the run of big boys that we had made, as well as you could put them behind if you got a Challenger or a UPFEF, whatever you want to reconstruct the excursion trains and such that are running nowadays. So it's 4 real nice Union Pacific die-cast tenders, and they can go right behind Andy. Those do contain the cabling to have the active protocoupler in the rear. Correct me if I'm wrong there.
I believe you're correct, though it's not uncommon for both of us to be wrong from time to time, but I'm pretty sure you're correct.
And Rich, how often do I ask for more of these tenders and you just laugh at me? You don't even say no anymore. You just laugh at the question.
I'm laughing with you, Ken.
Yeah,
not at you.
So everybody out there who's looking for these tenders, we may have some available, but I keep on trying to see if there's any cancellations or more. And MTH has been sold out to the number for a long time now. And that's why it's so important on these pre-orders just to get your pre-order in, because it's a limited quantity. And these tenders are going to be hot. I mean, there's a lot of big boys now on the market. MTH just shipped their big boy, I think maybe like 6 months or maybe a year ago, the Premier and the Rail King version. And those numbers were tremendous. I mean, it was probably... I would think it would be one of MTH's best-selling engine ever. It's just huge numbers. So make sure you get your pre-orders in, because Rich can't squeeze us in for more all the time.
I'll do what I can for you moving forward. So
thanks, Rich.
So
Kenny, you call Rich first, and then he says no to you. I'll give him a call.
Yeah, we got to start calling Andy.
You wouldn't be the only ones calling me. I can tell you that.
You won't get anywhere with Andy. See, I'm just a girl that can't say no. He can say no.
Oh my.
Anyway, all right. Next up, Andy, is what do we got coming next week? Premier gondolas with junk loads.
Right.
And again, with these, there are some custom runs out there, but we've got Baltimore and Ohio, Southern Pacific.
Spelling error. Did you see that?
What's that?
Spelling error. Professional would have caught that.
Oh, am I supposed to be proofreading your stuff now?
Yep.
Okay. Anyway, B&O, Southern Pacific, Great Northern, and Maine Central are the ones we're offering to all dealers. There are, again, that's a perfect one for people to go check out what custom runs are available as well. And it's
and one thing about these freight cars that, just to throw more confusion to the fire, is when I was talking about item numbers being related to the car number, we don't do that in freight. I guess we're just a bunch of people that are resistant to change over the years. And our freight cars always had multiple car numbers associated with them. Makes it real tricky for the dealers to know what they've got in stock. So when you go to the website and you key up an item number, and if we were looking at, one of those reefers, here's 20-95-600, the website's going to give you 2 car numbers under that same SKU. So there are 2 car numbers. That's the point I'm trying to make. And unlike with locomotives, the multiple car numbers are not associated with their own item number. So
Do you have all the pictures of the gondolas, Andy?
This is all of the MTH versions that were offered to all of the dealers. And again, if you go to the gondola news story, and it's somewhere in that list of news stories, you'll see the custom run versions that are being done as well.
And to make life easy for the dealer, just to put it in perspective to the end user, in every box of 2, they come boxed as 2 packs. There are 2 different car numbers in that box. So it makes it easy for the dealer to get you 2 unique car numbers.
And Rich and Andy, is there a place where you guys update the shipping schedule? Because I saw people asking questions on the Rail King Big Boy. They want to know when that's due, and also I think the SD35s.
The shipping schedule gets updated when the items come in. So the initial date that's published is the one that we assumed the product would be available. That hasn't been happening very frequently. So, in fact, it seems to change on a monthly basis, and we're juggling a ton of SKUs and don't have a lot of people like just me to do that. So, Rich is going to get some lessons in how to do that. We'll see how badly he crashes the website when he starts doing it. But, yeah, there's as I said, there's 800 or so SKUs now that are active, and the shipping schedule changes constantly when things move from one month to the next. So either somebody has to do it right then when they move the shipping schedule around, or the production schedule, and say, all right, we got to adjust these, or it doesn't get done until they actually come in. So the list that we're going to promote on Wednesday followed a list that we promoted at the end of March that was for the first half of April. And I guess that container hasn't arrived yet. It was due to arrive initially around the 10th of April. And when it comes in, it gets shipped, and I go through that list and I update the website. And that basically changes from, original shipping date was January 2023, and now to say delivered April 2023. So ideally, when the project manager is moving the production schedule around, the changes that he's making need to be updated. Otherwise, it gets stale pretty fast.
We are going to try to address that and get it, if not, get it as accurate as we can keep it, Kenny. So
the customer's got to kind of know when it's coming in so they can save up their dollars and put that money aside and things like that. It's even though they pre-order it, they have an idea of when it may come in, but it's good for me too to know when exactly it's coming in so I can save my money.
Well, yeah, we do. We give you guys at least, a 2-week notice that these things are due in a couple of weeks. So you see that list, but that doesn't help the guy trying to budget it out. He'll see an initial delivery date, for example, next week's or tomorrow's announcement for dealers and Wednesday's announcement for consumers. We'll show some Rail King products coming in October. And they'll probably come in October because they're running with some of our seasonal product that we'll show later on this evening. And so this schedule's probably pretty accurate. But, we've got some rolling stock that's coming in now that, was originally slated to deliver in Q4 of 2022. So it's running 5-6 months behind schedule for whatever reason. As a subcontractor, I sort of can not be blamed for that in theory.
Maybe we can hold a raffle and pick different people can pick what date they think it's going to come in.
There you go.
If you could get artwork done quicker, we deliver it quick.
Yeah, I find that hard to believe. But anyway.
Okay, Andy, what are we on?
What do we got? 100-ton hoppers.
100-ton hoppers. Now, the notes you had sent me, where are your images, Andy?
They're up. Well, Ken needs to jump me to the big screen so you can see them.
Yep. Hold on.
There you go.
So we've got 4 road names coming, or 5 road names coming here: Santa Fe, Scholar, Saskatchewan, Canadian Wheat, and Union Pacific. Now, the first 4 are going to be in toward the end of next week. The Union Pacific is running another month later because that one was a special plated version that actually sold very well. I think my good dealers and even TrainWorld ordered quite a few of those. But the first 4 will be in, like I said, before the end of April. Union Pacific will be late May.
And the plated version is, in fact, it's kind of a 2-tone job. So part of the body is plated. You can see it in this picture where it's reflective. And I believe, Ken, you guys have a version of this car coming in as well in a different livery.
Yes.
Hopefully that's sold well. The picture that we have here is actually of an undecorated plated car with the graphics applied, and it's much nicer looking than the other pictures because it really shows that reflective shine to it. And I think these cars are terrific. I don't know how your orders went for your SKU, but
yeah, people went crazy for this and the exclusive Statue of Liberty version that we did.
By the way, kudos, Kenny, to that design. That was beautiful. The New York Central with the Statue of Liberty on one side and whatnot. It's really nice.
Yeah.
We'll be showing that later in the program here.
Yeah, and we're excited to see this special chrome feature that you guys keep on talking about it, because Rich was really amping it up.
Well, a good salesperson would. Something he sometimes fails to do. But
yeah, after he called you, Kenny, he called me to order too. So we doubled up on the orders.
Too funny. All right, next up, Rich, Rail King Modern Tanks.
Yeah, we got 4 paint schemes coming in on those 2: U.S. Air Force, Union Pacific, Sunoco, and NASA. So those were very popular, and they're right around the corner as well. So you should be seeing those in stores in about a week and a half.
Yeah, those are pretty nice. And I think actually today Rich only had like 2 left or on some of those numbers, so we grabbed the rest of them. But NASA and any space always does so well. It's people really get into that.
Yes,
that kind of goes good with that Lionel rocket set also. So you can add that onto it. All of these are going to disappear fast. They're just going to disappear.
And finally, I saw some comments asking about buildings. We do have roadside stands are coming this coming week, and there's a few more buildings we're going to be promoting very soon. We already promoted some country passenger stations a couple of weeks back, so check out the news tab for the passenger stations. But we have coming out Buxom Melons, Fredo's boat rental. Ask us about one-way charters, and the Brian Dutchman, and well as My Family's Nuts. And Andy, did you get in the picture of the Dirty Hoe Garden Center?
Well, let's find out. Yes.
Yes, this one is backed by popular demand. I'm not sure why, but we didn't do a very good job yet promoting that to the dealers. But anyway, I'll be reaching out to folks, but that's coming out next week as well.
Just so everybody knows where these ideas come from, Andy and Rich go to a bar once a year, and they come up with all these crazy gimmicks. But these are great. I like the Fredos. That's good.
Yeah, Rich. It's mostly Rich. that comes up with these. I don't really take
you
a
ought
lot
to
of
see
credit.
the ideas that get turned down.
Yeah, I do sometimes shut down some of them. That is true.
And
Now you can throw them our way, Andy. We may do it then.
Right. Absolutely.
And then what do we got, Andy? Some Halloween and
So we got the recent announcement. So the products that we just went through are all the things that are due to arrive, other than that UP 100-ton hopper that are due to arrive this month. So this next section of stuff are seasonal announcements that we did earlier this winter, February. Yeah, I think in February. So it was still winter, right? So our Christmas stuff, Rich?
Yeah, so obviously with the ES44, it's going to have the red charging lights along the frame. That is offered again. That's always been popular.
But this is a new paint scheme, right?
Yes, brand new paint scheme, and
matching caboose.
It also those ES44s also have exhaust smoke. And so this year, for the first time, we're doing a Christmas caboose with the LEDs on it to go behind that ES44. So that has been pretty popular as well.
And that caboose is sold separately, right? Not as a package.
It's they're a la carte this year.
Yeah, and like this caboose, today I think Rich only had 8 more pieces, which we grabbed. And that's it. And this is a Christmas item ahead of time. So make sure if you're interested in any of this MTH items, get your pre-order in, because they're selling out quick. I mean this is Christmas, and MTH is already sold through. So make sure you get your pre-order in ahead of time. We still have some left over, but it's not going to be much left.
Rich, on the caboose, is that a red and a gray, or is it red and white?
Red. I think it's red and gray or silver, actually. It's hard. I have to look at the color chart. I'm pretty sure the roof is, Rich, I think the roof is white, right?
I believe the roof's white, and I think the sides it's silver. I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd have to look at the artwork.
Yeah, that'll look good. That'll look good in silver.
Yep.
So we also have a bump and go trolley that has the LEDs on there as well. That's been very popular the last year or so, as good deco around the Christmas tree, and one in maroon and blue, if you want a North Pole theme.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously the Christmas hand car, we've been making that for quite a number of years. Not every year, but this year it's coming back. And what else we got, Andy? We've got the 2023 Christmas car, and we should also.
This car is just the regular car.
Yes.
Right? And then we have one with
this one has flashing crossbucks, and where it says reindeer crossing, I believe, and flashing cross.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
And then we wanted to bring back a more religious themed car, so that's what is new for 2023. And then obviously these are always popular. The gondolas, they have LEDs around the top of the gon, and the snowmen change glow and change colors. So
I think we have a video under the video section of the website, and it might be associated with these SKUs as well. If you look them up, you'll see the video from before.
And we usually offer these cars in red and green, and sometimes white as well, so you can alternate colors if you really like it. Then the maroon and blue as well. And now stop here, Andy, because this has been one of our most popular items for several years now. But this year, this car is going to be improved because, we had to. We were missing some of the tools from the old car. So the tree itself is new tooled, It is a little bit bigger than the old one, and the star on the top of the tree will light up on this car, as well as there's LEDs on each tree and along the top of the flat car as well. And the crate is no longer there, but decoed Christmas gifts are on the center of the flat. So again, this car will be available in green, red. I think we did white this year, didn't we, Andy?
I think we did blue.
Blue and maroon. Maybe we didn't do white.
I don't think we did white.
You can alternate different colors if you've got something going around the tree with those flats with trees as well. But again, it is an improved version of our old flat with Christmas tree car. And we've got the lighted nativity scene on a flat car as well coming back this year. It took about a 2-year hiatus, but it's back this year.
Yeah, and that's another car. I bought the rest today, so make sure you get your pre-orders in. A lot of this Christmas stuff is just going to be pre-sold by the time it gets here.
And
Rich, before you do that now, going back to your Christmas hand car, I think these guys got to realize that hand car is an opportunity. We play around at the shop here, and we ended up just using the chassis from that hand car and putting it into this die-cast car, and then you can create your own vehicles or whatever you want to put on top of that hand car. You can do a lot of custom stuff with that, and you can just play around. I look for all different kinds of things to put on those chassis, and the chassis is an opportunity to make some fun stuff to put on your layout.
Very good. Looks nice.
Yeah.
Andy, mark down that TrainWorld is defacing some of our items.
I already have. Yeah. Pretty sure that's in the dealer handbook.
I'm actually looking to see if I can find like a cat or a squirrel in something to put on top of this and just let it run around. That type of thing.
All right, let's. We've got a couple of passenger stations here. The Main Street with the Christmas lights on there, and
that's the only one I have in here.
Yeah, that's good. And let's go
stuff.
through the Halloween stuff fairly quick. ES44 that'll have orange charging lights on there, and again exhaust smoke as well, and extended vision caboose that has orange LEDs on it to go behind there as well. And Halloween bump and go trolley. You know, we used to be scared to make much Halloween themed product years ago, but we got talked into it a little bit, and it's not maybe as popular as the Christmas items, but it's not too far behind. It was kind of surprising. It shows you what we don't know. So the bump and go has orange. This is the Halloween car with the glowing LEDs in the eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And regular old Halloween trick-or-treat car with the spooky scene on there.
Very nice.
Great colors. Great colors.
Now the ghosts light up. And
They blink, don't they?
I think they kind of glow and change. And then you can buy black and or orange and alternate colors if you want on there. And then Halloween, this is a Transylvania station, and so that's been popular the last couple of years. So it's got orange LEDs on there.
All right, next up would be our Shays that we just announced last month.
Yep, we've got a handful of 3-truck Shays that are coming out. Cass Railway, West Side Lumber, Western Maryland, Weyerhaeuser, and an unlettered version for those that want to bring out or to customize, have their own logging operation, maybe with their own name on there. And then we've also got a handful of 4-truck shays that are coming. We've got Norfolk and Western, Chesapeake and Ohio, West Virginia Pulp and Paper, and Red River Logging, as well as an undecorated 4-truck shay. So, and to go along with all those, we've got a fair amount of the skeleton, 6-car skeleton log sets that can go behind. And so there's even some unlettered log sets if you want to customize those to match whatever you're going to customize with the, unlettered shays. But so in most of the road names, there's 12 unique item numbers in 2 6-car sets.
Now, the shays have the single straight stack, and some of them have balloon stacks, depending on what the prototype was.
Correct.
Anything else about these shays, Rich, that people need to know? Seems to me there's an important feature.
Smoking whistle, quillable whistle. We did not have on the previous runs of shays. At least I'm almost positive we did not. And that's the main thing. And then, like you said, there are some the stack differences, whatnot. And there are some marker light differences depending upon what it was used for.
Well, yeah, this one is an example of that. And I think the Western Maryland, but you don't see them in these photos because we didn't have the markers on the sample. But because these are scenic railroad locomotives, they're actually in use today. They have to have marker lights. So we have marker lights on. But the others were older, and I guess the Railroad Association didn't care about whether people saw a shay going because they're so slow and noisy that you'd figure it out before you got struck.
And again, this is another engine that today we ordered a couple, and Rich didn't have many left. So this was really only announced maybe 2 months ago, Rich. And
I don't think it was that long ago. I think it was just sometime last month or early in March.
So when you see something and you have an interest, please put your pre-order in at TrainWorld. We don't take any money down. So you could pre-order. You won't get charged the dime on it. It's just like a commitment, and when it comes in, we ship it out to you. So it's a great, easy system.
All right, let's see. Now we're up to the really important stuff. TrainWorld special runs.
And before we go into that, Kevin Johnson has been emailing constantly asking about the European trains. Any update on European trains?
So we sold the European tooling. So we won't have any more European trains.
We didn't sell all of it.
We didn't?
No, we did not.
Oh, I thought we did.
But that category takes, how should I put this? I'm thinking about ways that there might be some items there that will work, but it's a lot of our sales of that were going through European dealers as well, a fair amount of. So that is a pretty labor intensive to deal with the, making sure you collect the money, etc. I don't want to dismiss it out of hand, but it is something that takes a lot more thought.
Okay. Well, we'll see. I thought you had sold it all, but what do I know? All right. So, Kenny, you guys got a couple of new arrivals, right?
Yes. These just came in, and they look gorgeous. And I have actually some actual samples here, but 3 different versions. Get your kicks on, and that's the motorcycle, the pickup truck, the Route 66 cars, and the the hot rod. And I'll just share my screen real quick to show the actual samples. And this is the quality of MTH. And let me slide this door shut here. But just beautiful graphics. And you could see Andy's art design, and it just comes out so nice. And this is that motorcycle. I guess a hog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's on my bucket list. My bucket list is to drive Route 66. Sooner or later, I'm going to do it.
These look really well, kind of all matched up, pulling around Route 66.
That's a very good idea, Kenny.
I was
Ken
Ken Senior.
your dad.
Ken Senior.
Yeah. Thank you.
This is before my time. Very cool. So we just got those in, and they've been shipping out the pre-orders. We still have some left over, but they're going quick. So really nice stuff.
All right. Well, and then you've got a bunch of stuff that we recently announced, starting with this Rail King ES4 Southern Pacific.
Yeah, this is kind of like a fantasy play, but Southern Pacific Black Widow, always a popular paint scheme. And then it's got that Union Pacific or just an American flag on it. And it just looks really nice in the black and looks like a mean engine. And the black with the against the American flag just really makes it pop out.
Yep. Looks good, Ken. Looks good.
It does. Now tell me about this engine.
So this is the Smurf nose, and I'm surprised you didn't put the picture that I kept on begging you to make, the nose.
I screwed up. I couldn't find it again. I thought it was online, and then I ran out of time. But this is a Scale -8, Rail King Scale -8. So maybe you have that Smurf.
Yeah,
front.
and I'll share a picture of the actual engine as well. If you could give me 1 second here. All right. I'm not sure if you could see this, but this is a picture online, and this is of that. Here, let me get Andy's off. Hold on 1 second.
So this is an actual version of this engine, Ken?
Yes. Hold on 1 second. Let me just.
It is a prototypical scheme.
Here we go. Yeah,
a real CSX guy would notice.
Yeah, so this is they actually call this the Smurf nose, and because it looks like a Smurf, so it's something unique, different, and we thought it was pretty cool and unique. So let's see if we could find the actual picture for Andy that Andy did, but really cool looking engine, and we thought it was unique, different looking. And here it is. We did it on the -8, something similar, and just really different. I think it's so neat, the Smurf nose, and the nickname is so cool. I think it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Mm.
All right.
So we're still taking pre-orders on that one.
Okay.
So one of our Rail King cranes. And this one's got what we kind of a hybrid New York Transit.
Yeah, New York City Transit Authority. You actually see these in the city and on construction sites. So it's really neat. And the back of the crane, we kind of tried to replicate it as the actual cranes in New York. So really neat. And that. You got the praying mantis on for as the logo, pretty cool.
So Rail King MW2s, and we've got what, 2 Army schemes here.
Those look pretty good, Kenny.
Yeah, most guys buy one of each. You know, it's like in the beginning they like had a preference, and then it all evens out. They just grab them anyway. Yeah, military's just a limited production, no matter who makes it.
Yeah, I like these. I like the way the shadowed figures are kind of worked into the scheme. And we've got matching premier bay window cabooses, right? These can go with it. And because that engine is scale, they'll look fine together.
Yep. Okay.
And then a couple more local things.
Yeah. These are New York, New Jersey engines. And these are actual engines on the rails. And I'll show some pictures after, but two different paint schemes that we're doing. The blue and white paint scheme, which actually there's some actual pictures from Brooklyn, New York of that engine. And this engine, New York, New Jersey, again, in the green paint scheme.
Right.
And I'll share.
These are Rail King scale SW1200s.
Very neat. Let me just share my screen here. So this, Andy, if you could go back to the other one, this blue and white paint scheme, this is actually a picture taken. This is our picture archives, but this location was in Brooklyn, New York, and it's hauling some gondolas here. Really cool. And then this is a picture of the New York, New Jersey, the green engine. So a really cool short line, something different that you don't usually see. So really neat.
Yeah, and it's these custom runs where a lot of retailers, you guys obviously at the forefront of it, are doing some brands and some schemes that people would just not normally have seen by a model train manufacturer in the past. And that's really made this whole transition for MTH viable in a way that wasn't anticipated. It's been really, really fun to do. A lot of work because there's an awful lot of SKUs, but it's amazing to see some of these things come to life that did exist that you just never saw before from any of the train manufacturers.
Yep.
And then, there's a few that we kind of come up with, right? This one, Strasbourg Rail King snowplow.
Strasbourg has been very hot, very popular. The engines have been coming out, passenger cars. This is kind of like a snowplow, but with the yellow, it looks pretty wild. So pretty neat.
Yeah, they get a lot of snow up there, I guess, huh?
Yeah. They're going to need it.
Yeah. All right. So those were the Rail King TrainWorld custom run specials. And now we've got some premier ones, starting with the Hudson. And Senior, I think you had something to do with this one, right?
It just we just talk about things and we throw it out there, and if it sticks, we make it. And,
well, that was a Rich. Rich was actually talking about this, and it came out beautiful. It's Rich, you hit a home run, and Andy with the coloring, it's just dynamite. I mean, the red, it looks perfect. It's like the perfect color red.
Every once in a while, I stumble into the truth, Kenny.
It's probably one of the best designs you came up with this year.
Gorgeous engine.
So here's your Statue of Liberty 100-ton hopper.
Yeah, and it. I haven't seen many trains with the Statue of Liberty, but why not? New York Statue of Liberty is so iconic. So it's really nice to see it on a New York Central car, and that, and you can pull it with the pacemaker. It'll look beautiful together.
Absolutely, yeah. So here's, we showed the MTH gondola hoppers, or gondola cars with junk load, and here's your version. And this should go well with your other maintenance stuff that, the crane and even those switcher engines.
Yeah, I mean, New York has so much trash, and we got to carry it throughout the rails somehow. And New York City, there's tons of yellow maintenance, New York City, yellow and black cars throughout the city, and you see them on YouTube and in images. So this was a great replica of that. So really neat, and especially if you work in the city or used to the subway system, you'll see these.
Yeah, it's good looking car. Good looking car.
The Premier 35-foot Woodside caboose, again, Strasbourg livery. Go well with the gondola snowplow.
Yeah, Strasbourg is just, that's probably one of the hottest road names the past 2 years. I don't know why all of a sudden there was this huge surge. I mean, they've always had their museum there, so nothing's changed. It's just been, you know, a surge. I mean, everybody's into Strasbourg. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And Premier Bay Window cabooses in this Long Island livery. And this is a theme that you've done with more than just cabooses.
Yeah, I think the colors are beautiful. They're stunning. It's a little different, but once you get them onto the rails, I think people are going to go crazy for it. I mean, the colors really stand out. It's like that punch, just really nice.
Very eye catching.
Yep. And you can build a train because you've got flats with up trailers as well.
Yep. And that's cool. Just seeing that Long Island big and bold. And we kind of got this concept. There's I guess a bridge in Queens or Long Island City, and it's the big Long Island in black and orange. And you know, we wanted to make that Long Island big and bold. And Andy and his team did a great job with the outline of Long Island in the background.
Yeah, I would say mission accomplished for that. Pretty cool. Let me just jump here. So we got a couple of, I don't like to do it this way because I always like to just show the images and not the artwork. But Ken wanted to talk about some announcements that we haven't made yet. And so we're just going to show the artwork. And one of these would look good pulling any of those cars.
Yeah. So this is the new big announcement. And, you know, it's the big, bold Long Island. And again, I think it's Long Island City is the bridge that I'm thinking of, but it's black and got the big Long Island. And Andy did a great job kind of capturing the essence of that bridge. And it's just beautiful. And you got the logo in the front. It's got that Long Island Dash and Dan orange, just really nice stuff.
And this is an NW2, so it'll be coming out with all the other NW2s, of which you've got the Army ones as well. I believe they were Army ones, right? That we showed earlier. So very cool. And we'll be announcing this through one of the upcoming MTH newsletters here in a matter of weeks. And you'll see an actual image of it rather than the artwork. But at least you get a good idea now. Ken will up his number once the broadcast is over.
Looks great, Andy. Did a good job. Looks great.
Thank you.
And we got official wording from Dashing Dan's Trains. Yes, the Long Island is on the ferry dock, used to be used for subway deliveries in Long Island City. So that's kind of the essence we're going for. But again, Andy and his team over there did a great job putting that on.
Then we got two more flats with the Christmas trees. And again, just the artwork here because we just got this finalized last week and didn't get the images done.
Yeah,
so,
the artwork will look a little different on this one. It's going to be in that Strasbourg gold and have that goose egg logo on it. But the reason why we went with Strasbourg with the trees is we were looking for pictures of actual trains online, and we saw a picture online where the Strasbourg is pulling a flat car with trees, and we couldn't believe it. And I believe the Strasbourg Railroad actually has a tree pulling ceremony or event. And if someone's out there that wants to chime in on that, we'd love to share your thoughts. But really neat that they actually have, if I could zoom in here, a flat car with Christmas trees. So it's a Christmas tree delivery. and that's the Stroudsburg 89 engine. So I think it's perfect to go with all those Stroudsburg engines out there.
And it's got a, looks like it's showing a passenger car behind it, Ken. So you can mix freight and passenger.
Yeah. And there's a couple of pictures out there with the Stroudsburg pulling a flat car with the Christmas trees, and they're kind of doing an event. And Lee Stat out there, Christmas train you could ride and cut down a tree, and they bring it in the back. So that's pretty wild. So yeah, Curtis is saying ride the Stroudsburg and go cut your tree. They haul it back to the station. So that's pretty cool.
Wow, that's really good. Really good.
So I think people, with the Stroudsburg fever, they're going to go wild for this. And yes, it's not exact, but you got the Christmas trees with the lights. I think it's really neat. So people could kind of, if you're into realistic model railroading, you could kind of see where this happens,
And Kenny, just in case people tuned in late after we talked, the tree is newly tooled, okay? And the star on the top, this will be the first time we've ever made it where the star on the top lights up.
Wow.
And obviously the wrapped Christmas gift on the flat, that's new too.
Very neat. So you're going to get the new tooling for the Stroudsburg flat. I don't think this has ever been done before, so this is gonna be pretty good. And again, we just announced this a couple of days ago. Andy, I think you sent the artwork. So this is a brand new announcement and something new.
Yep, for this one and for a New York City one. And this I believe this artwork is correct. So I must have pulled the wrong file for your Stroudsburg.
Yeah.
Apologies.
So again, Andy is probably going to kill us because he sends the artwork for the Stroudsburg and he's rushing to get everything in. And I'm like, let's do one more. And New York City, what's iconic about New York City? Every year you see on the news, the channel, they're doing the Christmas tree lighting in Rockefeller Center. So why not a New York City flat car with trees? I mean, it just makes sense. And, obviously TrainWorld's from New York. So it's like the perfect pairing. And Andy, within a day, he threw this together and it was great. And of course, we got to throw the American flag on it, a little patriotism, and the New York City on it. Just really neat. The red, crisp New York Christmas color. Just awesome. So I think this is really going to do well, and especially come Christmas time, once the Christmas tree lighting ceremony. And there's also Bryant Park Christmas tree lighting. They actually Bryant Park bought, and we helped them out with some trains to go over their gazebo, and they're really great with the Christmas markets in Bryant Park. So New York City just has so much about trains and history and Christmas trees, and it's just really magical. So this was really neat to do.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's it for the world debuts. So.
Yeah. There's a few more we can't talk about yet.
Yeah, there's definitely more TrainWorld custom run products in the pipeline. So as you stay tuned to the MTH website or preferably the newsletters, you'll hear about those announcements in the coming weeks and months. So a lot to do, and it's a lot of fun.
Yep.
And I want to thank MTH, Andy, Rich, for just having patience with us and all the dealers out there, because it's not easy to keep on going back and forth with everyone. So it's definitely takes some patience, and they're always pleasant to work with and really helpful.
But I'll tell you, Kenny, it is a lot of work, but the dealer input and what he knows his customer better than I do, for sure. And the tweaks that get made often make it the product that much more special, whether it's a piece of rolling stock or a locomotive. So it's worth the effort of tweaking items and tweaking artwork.
Yep. Yep, it's all in the detail. But then Andy does his magic. All we can do is talk about it, and then Andy just like bam does it. That's it. It's
Hopefully none of my people are watching this because they're going to get mad.
well, your crew, your gang, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah, and again, for all your MTH items, you could go to trainworld.com. For our TrainWorld exclusives under trains, there's TrainWorld exclusives. If you want to shop O scale, or even we do G scale, MTH G scale exclusives that we didn't even get to talk about tonight. But O scale TrainWorld exclusives, you could filter by MTH Trains. And look, we have over 77 items announced or in stock that we're taking pre-orders or in stock right now at the moment. There's tons of trains that we didn't even get to talk about. These are actually almost sold. South Brooklyn, New York work trains. So much great stuff that Andy, Rich, myself, and my father kind of have put together. So really just a ton of product, a slew of product out there. And they've been doing a great job with us. And if you're looking for just MTH products in general, you could go to brand and under MTH electric trains, which I should find quickly. There we go. You could either search by Premier or Rail King or just MTH trains in general. And we still have over 650 items. So anybody who's thinking that MTH is out of business, they're not. We still have plenty in stock. And again, our filtering systems really makes it simple to see what you're looking for. Just any kind of track. What kind of track? Real track, scale tracks. If you're looking for a road name specific, you could type in Long Island. Long Island will show up. So we're making it really simple for everyone out there to really narrow their search because there's so many products. It's just amazing between all these companies, so Christmas items, diesels. So we're making it very simple out there. I saw a couple of people asking about G scale, MTH G scale. And they're still making G-scale products. We still have some on pre-order. We have some exclusive items that we're coming out with. The CSX first responders. No one's ever done that, I don't think, in that paint scheme for G-scale. And we're putting that together with MTH. And yes, it's a different engine style, but nobody has an ES44 in G scale. So it's different stuff. It's cool. It's exciting. And they've been great partners with us. We still have some PAs in stock, but plenty coming in for G scale. And in HO, I think Little Joe's just came in, right, Rich?
That's correct. Little Joe's.
Little Joe's came in, so those are just shipping in, and so we still have some HO stuff, and these are brand new arrivals, and they're operating pantographs, if I recall, Rich.
Yeah, directionally controlled, so you change direction, one pantograph goes up, the other one comes down. So,
and those are the last HO items. It took a while to get them built, so that tooling is now owned by Scale Trains.
Yeah, and I still see a lot of threads, people asking about the Little Joes. So we still we just got them in stock. They just came in, and so some really great, nice stuff. Nice stuff you got there.
Yeah, Kenny, you know what's great? When we make our custom Long Island stuff and New York City stuff, I'm amazed at how much of that stuff gets shipped out of state, goes to Florida, California, the Midwest. For the guys that grew up here, they moved away, or they retirement, they moved away. It's pretty cool to see that they still want something from where they came from, type of thing. So it's never really that local. It goes all over the country. It goes all over.
Yep, without a doubt. And one last question for Andy and Rich, because I've seen this question a couple of times. Paul's been asking, when the shipping schedule says delivered, is that delivered at MTH or to the dealers?
To the dealers.
To the dealers. Okay, great. Well, we got that. And Yeah, that's about it. That's it in a nutshell.
Well, thank you guys for having us. It's been great again. Appreciate it.
Yep. We'll see you at York, and hopefully we can have a beer together, Rich and Andy.
I'll buy you one, Kenny.
I'm sure Rich won't turn you down for that.
Rich, make sure you bring Mike's credit card.
He's got me on a $20 limit.
I think he's cringing or either calling Rich right now as we speak. But all in good fun. So thank you very much, Rich, Andy. Again, you could get all your MTH trains at trainworld.com. Shop online 24/7. And all these items that MTH announces, make sure you get your pre-order in because they are selling out quickly. Rich does not have much room. And if there are extras, they may go into his office. So it's going to be harder for him to enter his room. So make sure you get those orders in. But I'll leave you guys with the last words. But thank you all for a great night. Andy, Rich, always a pleasure. And Dad, thanks for joining us. Always great having you on.
Okay.
Thank you, Ken. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. And thanks to all you customers that kept supporting us. Appreciate you.
Yeah. And thank you, everyone, for giving us a great year this year. And the season's going to slow down, but we'll just pump it all back up again next October, and we'll just crank it up. It's put those trains away and start doing your garden work now. That's what's going to happen.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone out there, for joining. We appreciate it, and have a great night.
All right.